I'm Larry Robinson. This is the Sunday Advance News Roundtable discussion that we do once a month. And today's discussion will be about drugs in St. Lawrence County.
All of a sudden in 2011, it was there. And honestly, we saw it coming a little bit, but we had no idea that it was going to come like it did. And all of a sudden we had significant increases in suicides, significant increases in violent crime, which in Messina we weren't used to dealing with, and really in the North Country we're not used to dealing with. And so it's 2011, then all of a sudden 2012 it explodes in our community. And back then, I have to tell you, as the chief of police, I thought I knew how to solve the drug problem. Boy, was I wrong. I had no clue. And the best thing that we did is we started talking to people that were in the counseling field and in the treatment field. And I remember one counselor saying to me, once you start to reduce the opiate prescription drug problem in your community, heroin's going to come in. And I remember it like it was yesterday, and I didn't say it, but I thought to myself, they don't know Messina, no way. My goodness, were they dead on. They were absolutely right. And there's a part of me wishes we had the prescription drug problem back.
Now they're going to limit the number of days that they're going to hand out on initial prescription. So before you get 30 days, now you're going to get a limited amount of 7. If you have to go back for continued pain, then they're going to have a real legitimate reason to continue that. And that whole purpose there is because if we block that longevity of use, we block that chance of the addiction happening. Now, I hate to say this, remember, this is a multi-billion-dollar business. Not on the illegal side, on the legal side.
Look at St. Lawrence County. What's happened to our jobs? You know this better than anybody, Tim. The good blue-collar jobs have dried up. People are now working jobs that don't have benefits. They're working part-time. They probably don't have as much in the way of health care. They get sick. They get hurt on the job. They have to keep working because they'll lose their job if they don't. They don't have time off. And so what happens to them? Well, you take a pill to keep working, because you got to work through the pain.
If you have a class of 30 students, and maybe 10% of them are using or selling, and teachers are being evaluated to increase the knowledge of that student, there's really something wrong with the whole. We need to have more resources in our schools, obviously.
Have we changed the norm? Are we lowering the bar for what is now considered to be normal? Not only in St. Lawrence County, but as a culture, in the whole, we're now accepting different things. Like you say that 30% poverty, but you know what? Most of your community accepts that that's going to be there. We're not stepping up to raise the norm back up. We're allowing it to come down where it is, and we're saying that's the way it is. I can't change it. We'll live with it.
There's a lot of money that's needed to address some of these issues. We're kind of all missing the boat about where we could go for that money, which is the same people who made it in the first place, which is Big Pharma. The war is the wrong tool to be pulling out of our toolkit anyway, because it's not a hammer and a nail type of situation. It's a much more complicated and it's a much more complex situation.
It's not a criminal justice problem, it's a public health problem.
It is a public health problem, and I think if we get to that point where we start looking through the lens of public health, and that works for so many issues, public health is a wonderful, wonderful tool, and it's a wonderful lens that is often underutilized for things like this.